Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, and in this video we're going to be looking at Karma. Karma was recently reworked, and I think it was the last patch. The patches have not been coming out that quickly in recent weeks, and most people are not really playing Karma very much. She does not appear to have had all that much changed. In fact, a lot of the old Karma players do not particularly like her since the rework, but we're going to go ahead and actually have a game here with some Karma gameplay. So we'll go ahead and look at that in this particular game. We're going to be following Penguin Preacher in this game. Alongside Penguin is Necromancer playing as Sona, Spreakway, who's jungling as Evelynn, Shogun Lee, who's playing as Gangplank, and Wizard Ninja Pro, who is going to be in the bottom lane as Caitlyn. Then on the other side, we have me playing as Alistar as a support, Red Lycoris playing as Riven, hope I got that name correct. Sun and the Pro playing as Katarina with the Sleigh Bell Katarina skin, very nice. The BZ playing as Vayne, and Westbrook 348 playing as Udyr and jungling. So we're going to go ahead and look at Karma in this particular patch version here. Let me just set up the scoreboard down here at the bottom. I don't know if you ever watch people on stream, not on stream, but people who put stuff up on YouTube in spectator mode and they don't align the champions at the bottom. It's like a personal pet peeve. It makes it really hard to follow what's going on. Anyway, so Karma as a champion has long been a bit of a joke in League of Legends. The troll tier sort of pick, not very popular. Had the lowest, I believe had the lowest play rate. Either her or Urgot were the two least played champions, I think, in League. They both had were both played in like less than 1% of games. But anyway, so Karma has gotten a rework. She is a similar idea to her old kit. Karma was originally designed to be a support. Riot did not do a very good job of designing her as a support, and she was better played as sort of a ability power or AP mage, sort of a mid lane caster. So that is what she's been sort of geared towards. Again, Riot kind of wanted her to be a support, but she really is not very good at that role. She is better played in the mid lane as sort of an ability power AP caster, and unfortunately, she's not that good in that role. She is still sort of subpar in that role. But we'll look at what she does. Karma's unique gimmick, well, maybe it's not fair to call it a gimmick, but the thing that makes her unique is she does not have sort of a true ultimate. What she has is mantra charges. Go ahead and put that here. What this does is it empowers her next ability with an additional effect. And she can only store one charge of mantra. So each one of her normal skills gets a bonus effect when she uses mantra. And that is sort of the idea. So she doesn't truly have an ultimate. She has an ult that's available at all times. She can use it to charge up her abilities. And I'm sure that there's some kind of a graphical effect when she's used mantra. I don't think that Penguin has actually used it as yet. As we see actually an early first blood in top lane. Shogun Lee claiming that in top lane. But anyway, so I'll go ahead and highlight this. Here's her passive. Gathering Fire. Each time that she damages an enemy with an ability, it reduces the cooldown of mantra as an ability. And this is actually a pretty big deal because Karma without mantra charges is rather weak. So she needs to use that in order to be a strong champion. Otherwise, she's just a champion with 3 relatively normal skills. Oh, by the way, Senin having to jump the wall to get away from that double buff Evelynn being played by Spreakway. Anyway, so let's look then at these skills, shall we? I believe that her primary skill is her Q. Well, actually, we have a Eve stealth gank coming in, so we'll keep an eye on that. Looks like Spreakway has not been seen as yet, or maybe he has. Not sure. So anyway, here comes the Eve gank. We'll keep an eye on that. There is the jump in, but Spreakway probably should have waited a couple seconds more because Senin was able to shumpo to a minion. And that's one thing you always need to keep in mind if you're going up against Katarina, is can shumpo to the minion lines. Okay, back to Karma. Let's look at this. My understanding is people typically max the Q first. This is sort of the new Karma's bread and butter damage skill. Inner Flame fires a blast of energy that explodes upon enemy contact, dealing magic damage and slowing movement speed for 1.5 seconds. Pretty simple, just a point and click skill shot that explodes on contact. Now the mantra bonus is, what does it deal? It deals extra magic damage and leaves damage on the ground. Anyway, there is Penguin going in. Oh, managed to get the stun. Is he going to get this kill right here? Yes, he's going to flash and gets that particular kill using skills that I have not highlighted as yet. So what was going on there? Oh, well, we have another fight right here. Westbrook is going to flash in as Udyr. He does have double buff, but that looks to be a mistake because he's going to get caught by Spreakaway. And oh no, you never want to feed a double buff to a jungling Udyr early in the game. Yeah, so that was a big mistake. Flashing in meant that Udyr being played by Westbrook, did not have a further flash to get out. And you do not want to give that double buff and a kill over to Evelynn early in the game. Eve's weakness as a jungler is her early game, and that kill will accelerate Spreekaway in his gameplay. So anyway, I have not had a chance, I think we did have a chance actually to see the Mantrid Q here from what's his name? From Penguin Preacher, excuse me there. So yeah, the idea is when you use Mantra, it leaves a circle of flame at the impact area, and then that detonates after 1.5 seconds. And the damage is actually pretty high for early on in this skill. So Q is sort of the damage skill, is basically the idea. It deals damage, is a skill shot, and the Mantrid version leaves a little area on the ground. So there it is. There's an example of that Q being fired off. Okay, next up, W. I believe that Karma is typically maxed this second, although I have to see what Penguin did. My understanding is that. This is the reworked version of Karma's old Spirit Bond, her old jump rope, as people like to call it. Links Karma to target champions. It reveals them, so stealth units cannot get away. It's a shame that Eve wasn't on the other team here. Would have been useful. There it is. There is the bond. And if it sticks, then, if it deals damage to them over time, and it roots them in place if the link is not broken, is the idea there. Oh, and by the way, the Eve jungle snowball is off in full. Spreekaway roams top and picks up another kill, which means that top lane is now very far ahead for red team in this game. So anyway, there we go. There is the W once again. There's the stun, and now comes out the Mantrid Q, dealing that delayed damage. Again, no minion for Senin to jump to. No target for him to shumpo to. In fact, if Spreekaway had gotten down there about 2 seconds earlier, that would have been a kill. And in fact, Spreekaway is still lurking around, so we'll keep an eye on this. But anyway, you get sort of the basic gameplay for Karma in mid. Typically, it is to go in to use her W, her focused resolve, link them to the target, to the enemy champion, deals magic damage over time. Anyway, here we go, and Spreekaway goes in when there's no minion for Senin to jump to. There we go, there's the delayed hit. And Senin's going to try to jump out, but again, there's really nowhere for him to shumpo to. Again, if you're going to gank Katarina, gank her when she doesn't have a minion wave to jump back to. So another successful stealth gank. Again, basic idea, as I said, was to use your W and then get the root, and then when they're rooted, you can hit them with a Mantrid Q. That's sort of her max damage way to play her, is the idea. And then now we've got more Mantra charges. Level 6, you want to put a point in the ultimate because, what does it do? I believe that it lowers the cooldown for Mantra, something like that. There is some ability that this gives you. Apologies for that. Should have gone ahead and researched this before doing the game. But you do get an extra benefit. Is it extra damage or something like that? Well, anyway, unfortunately, I'm not seeing it on the tooltips here. But anyway, yes, you do want to put more points in your ultimate each time it's available. And then go ahead and highlight the E. Inspire, this is the shield. Ally gets a shield, 20% movement speed boost, and absorbs damage, so there is the shield. Karma's actually pretty good at 1v1, is the idea, when she is able to go in and use her W. By the way, I should have mentioned the Mantra bonus. The Mantra bonus is deals bonus damage and heals Karma over the duration on her Mantra W. So allows her to heal as long as that that bond is in place. So anyway, the E is typically seen as the 1-point skill for Karma these days. Grants a shield, grants bonus movement speed, and absorbs damage. This is the sort of reworked version of her old shield. Her old shield was her best skill. So there it is, the movement speed in, and the bond comes out. And let's see, there's the Mantrid Q for the bonus damage. And Senin looks like he's just able to get out of there. But of course, Senin is a long way behind right now. So anyway, you get the idea. E gives you the bonus movement speed, then you run in with W, and once they get rooted, Mantrid Q, that's sort of the basic combo, but you can do obviously more complex things than that. If you're low on health, you can bait people with a Mantrid W, because you heal in the process of doing so. The Mantra bonus for her E is the shield, let's see, it's a larger shield. The shield, let's see, the shield deals magic damage to units around her target. So it's like the old Mantrid E. Shield deals magic damage, and you also get bonus movement speed. Get 60% movement speed on the E. Anyway, there's a fight going on down here in bottom lane. The Sona ult's going to come out, and everybody is just going to get blown up by the combination of Eve and Udyr, and even that Gangplank ult coming down from top lane. But at this point in time, the game was sort of well and truly out of control, largely because Spreekaway's Evelynn was already 5-0, and was way, way, way ahead of where Eve jungle would normally be in Eve's build. Red, like course, is able to pick up a kill in top lane. Not exactly sure how that happened, since Gangplank looked to be pretty far ahead. but I guess that's a mystery that we just will not know, because I'm not going to go back and rewind at this point, since I'm focusing on Karma here. Anyway, so again, Q first, W second, E third, very standard skilling, and of course, put extra points in the ult whenever it's up. Now, Karma is, as I said, pretty good at 1v1. Her biggest weakness, though, is the range. That in order to play Karma, you have to play in a very risky fashion. You have to go in with the W. And let's see, are they going to go in after Sennen again? Yes, here comes Spreakaway, but Sennen is going to be able to jump out and be okay. Biggest problem is, in order to play her effectively, you have to use her W. You have to use the Focused Resolve, and that puts you very close to the enemy team. That puts you very close to them, and you have to put yourself in a position of danger. So, I mean, again, like I said, the basic combo is shield yourself, run in with W, get the root, and then hit them with your Q for extra damage. Like right here, that's the same thing again. Sennen is rooted, and there is that mantraed Q coming out, and then the flash auto attack, Penguin will pick that off. Let's go back and look at that again, shall we? A little bit slower so you can see the full combo. A good example of this in action. So once this fight starts, I'm going to slow it down. Okay, here we go. So there's the shield for the movement speed, W for the jump rope. There is the mantraed Q, and there are the tick hits on Sennen. Sennen has been ignited. Penguin's going to flash in, one extra auto attack, and that will pick off the kill. Sennen's Katarina tries to flash afterwards, but it's already too late. The damage has been done. So, I did not do the best job of explaining that, but you get the idea. That combo was, it was actually the W went on first. It was W, then an immediate E for the movement speed. Once the root hit, rooted in place for 1.25 seconds, then the Q came out with Mantra bonus. Because Sennen was rooted, he was not able to escape. The Soul Flare, Circle of Flame, took a lot of damage, and then Ignite plus one final auto attack was able to claim that kill. Nicely played by Penguin Preacher right here. Now, I am not too terribly familiar with how people build Karma since the rework. I see the Chalice, a Chalice into Athene's Unholy Grail. That's a pretty standard, even if I don't know what I'm doing with this champion in mid, you can kind of build that and be relatively safe. So I honestly don't know if this is the best item for Karma. Anyway, there is the root, and then that sets up an easy Q. No mantra bonus that time. No mantraed Q. Just the typical Q there for the harass. So anyway, Westbrook is hanging around, and we'll see if he's able to get a successful gank off. Anyway, the actual damage is coming in top, but Red Lycoris is going to get out of there. Anyway, so here we go, the dash in, but no such luck, unfortunately, for Westbrook. Not going to be able to do anything. Penguin is very, very far ahead in this middle lane. If we check the gold total, he's ahead by about 1,600 gold, and more than that, he's ahead by 3 levels. Yeah, 3 levels in this mid. That's actually a really big deal as well, because every level grants a lot of stats in this game. For those who don't know, each level in League of Legends grants a couple hundred gold worth of stats. So you have to keep that in mind as well. The fact that Sennen's down 3 levels, that means he's down like another roughly 1,000 to 1,500 gold. And Penguin, of course, has gotten far enough ahead that he's just sort of bullying around Sennen. So one of the big things that you need on Karma that I've heard is cooldown reduction is very important. So 24% CDR, Penguin already has here. One reason why Athene's seems like I mean, I don't know that much about building Karma, but feels like this would be a good item because it's got the cooldown reduction and the mana regen to let you go ahead and spam your spells. Feels like a good item to pick up here. And of course, magic resist helps in trading as well. So it feels like this is a pretty good item for her. I don't know if this is optimal or not. I'm afraid I just don't know. I have seen very few people playing Karma since the rework. I did not see very many people playing her before the rework either. But it does feel like that's a pretty solid item to get on her. So now with that blue buff, cooldown reduction capped at 40%. That's crucial so that your mantra charges come up more often. So 27-second cooldown, and that gets reduced with the passive as well, with the Gathering Fire passive. Okay, so again, elsewhere on the map, in top lane, it looks like that lane is probably the closest, although I think Gangplank is ahead in that lane regardless. This lane, Karma is way ahead. Penguin is winning this matchup, as you've been seeing here. So anyway, like right there, Sennen broke the W right away, and it's, unfortunately for Karma, it's relatively easy to break that. Meanwhile, down here in bottom lane, we had a successful Meteor gank. I'm going to flash in, get the headbutt into the wall, tank the tower as Alistar, and that's going to allow us to pick off that kill on Caitlyn. So that was one gank that actually did work out for us. Unfortunately, the counter gank is coming out here in top lane. The Eve stealth gank with red buff, and there's really not a lot you can do. That's a well-placed Gangplank ult, by the way, by Shogun Lee. There's really not a lot you can do about those stealth ganks in that situation. You can't let Eve get that far ahead, unfortunately. And Eve, 4,800 gold. 2,800 gold on Jungle Udyr. That is an Eve that is very, very far ahead. So, yeah, basically you can't let Eve Jungle get that far ahead. If that happens, you are in for a world of trouble. And that's exactly what was happening in this game. Okay, so anyway, here we go. Here comes the gank out. Movement speed on the E right there. Westbrook is going to get rooted. There is the Mantrid Q coming out for the damage. So this fight has now been turned around, and oh wow, Karma with a lot of AP right now. Where is that W once again? Can he get the root on Senin? And there we go. The Mantrid Q once again finishes it off. So Penguin turning that fight around in a hurry. Has just snowballed out too far in front of this lane. An Udyr gank that suddenly went horribly, horribly wrong. And Penguin looking strong in this middle lane on his AP Karma in this particular matchup. So yeah, 302, and check out the farm, 136 to 67. Poor Senin just fell too far behind, and that Spreakaway Jungle Eve pressure made it very tough for any of the lanes to farm in this particular game. In bottom lane, we were doing okay. I mean, we weren't ahead, but we were reasonably close down here. If I go ahead and look at this, we were reasonably close. Oh, and by the way, Wizard Ninja down here by himself makes a mistake. And so there is the condemn into the wall and the headbutt, and that was a fairly easy kill to pick off. But unfortunately, while that's going on, our team was losing the mid tower. So we can pick off that kill, but sadly, not looking so great on other parts of the map. And Penguin is sitting on a ton of gold. He just needs to go back and buy. And let's see what he's going to pick up here. I honestly don't remember what he got. But I guess I'll just mention while we're watching this here. Again, Q first. Standard skilling order, Q first, and then W second. W is really good at trading because you can go ahead and heal off the other, you know, as I said, you can heal off the other person if you use the mantra bonus, and the root duration increases with more points. It's only a 1 second root with 1 point, and it goes up to a 2 second root with 5 points in the skill. Anyway, so right there, baited out the Katarina ult and ignite, did not get the kill. Penguin, I believe, just needs to go back and buy at this point. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot that Senin can do. He actually rushed the Negatron Cloak. It's going to give him some survivability, but it means he doesn't really do any damage whatsoever. Katarina with 42 AP is not going to be that scary in the overall, in sort of the larger scheme of things. Anyway, so, going for the greedy build, out comes the Needlessly Large Rod for just straight ability power. And let's see, what else did Penguin pick up? Picks up a Red Elixir. And looks like he had just enough to get the Doran's Ring as well. That's not a bad buy if you have like 500 gold and you don't have anything else to buy, to just pick up one Doran's. There's nothing wrong with sitting on a Doran's item and using it for the rest of the game, essentially. Because you're typically not going to get to a 6-item build, which means it's not really wasted. Okay, anyway, right now, while Karma's running back to lane, we'll keep an eye on this bottom lane. We've managed to keep this tower up in bottom lane thus far. Things not going so well elsewhere, though. Gangplank's down here. Gangplank probably shouldn't be here, but here comes the rest of the team. Evelyn coming down. By the way, nice ward. Not sure who put this down, but really nice pink ward there. So anyway, here comes their team. 5 are coming to bot, and we just need to leave this tower. I was pinging the back. It was like, we just need to get out of here. They have 5 coming down the bottom lane. And in comes Spreakaway, in comes Penguin Preacher. I'm going to try to headbutt them away, but there's not a whole lot we can do. This tower is dead, and now they're pushing with 5 onto this bottom tower. Riven's farming, that's not a bad idea. Seriously, not a bad call. Riven needs to get some more farm. By the way, not a huge fan of these cooldown boots, though. I don't think I would have gone cooldown boots on Riven. That feels like a bit of an odd choice. Against Gangplank, Ninja Tabby is really effective. So I believe that we're going to keep them off this tower, but we can't do anything to stop their team from just running the dragon, and they really have free run over the map right now. If you check out the vision right now, they have, well, you can just kind of see that they have more control over the map than we do in this particular situation. We do have a good number of pink wards on the map, but they've already taken all the outer towers, and they've gotten the second tower here mid, and 9,000 gold lead. Most of that gold lead being on the jungler. Spreakaway's Jungle Eve was really far ahead, and on the mid lane, because Penguin's Karma also got really far ahead. It's closer in the other lanes, but they're still ahead there as well because of the global gold that they picked up. Okay, so Penguin once again goes ahead, grabs blue buff, 40% CDR as expected. So if you check out the cooldowns, Q on a very short cooldown with max CDR, only 3-second cooldown. Let's see, W's on 8-second, Inspire E is on 7-second, and Mantra, as I pointed out before, 27 seconds with the max CDR. And right now just farming up. Karma does farm pretty well, not too hard to farm with her. Once you get some AP, a Q will clear waves pretty fast. Anyway, there is the E for the movement speed bonus. Is he going to get the W? No. Just shoots out the Q. What is it? What is the name of this skill, by the way? Inner Flame. Just fires off a Q for a little bit of harass. And that harass is starting to get pretty strong after getting so much gold and ability power. Elsewhere, in terms of items, not a huge fan of this Gangplank build. The straight Warmogs with Ninja Tabby and the Avarice Blade. Not the way I would choose to build Gangplank, but I guess it was working in this particular game. The Frozen Heart from Spreakaway, that was a screw you move to our Vayne player, the Beezy. Anyway, right now, their team has managed to catch Riven, and is that root going to hit? Yes, it does. Here comes the Mantrid Q. Will not actually hit anyone, though, but flashes are being popped, and that kill will be picked off on poor Udyr in this game. There is yet another Q coming out, so we have managed to lose Udyr, and that tether is not going to hit. I'm going to be able to run out of that as Alistar. So they're going to set up, and they're going to look to start sieging on this tower, and the problem is their team has a lot of poke. Watch the Karma Qs coming out, watch the Caitlyn Peacemakers, watch the Sona poke coming out here. They're just going to make it really hard for us to hold this tower, and they're just going to keep poking away. And oh no, that was a mistake. Don't step on that trap, Riven. Oh, that was a bad place to step. And all the damage came out, and down went Riven. Poor Red Light Chorus right there. So these Karma Qs are really dealing a lot of damage. I guess I should highlight that. Let's see, each one, wow, 260 plus 145 on a 3-second cooldown. I mean, yes, it's a skill shot, but that's a lot of damage coming out. And you can see we're just getting picked apart here. We need to do something. We need to try and force a fight of some kind, or they are just going to get this tower regardless. So I'm thinking we need to do something here. We can't just sit here. We're going to get poked to pieces. Unfortunately, these Caitlyn traps are really annoying to deal with. By the way, Gangplank also split pushing down here. That's a good call because of his global ult. But, you know, we need to force a fight. We need to catch someone, and we need to engage on this team. Otherwise, we're just going to, well, as you can see, we're going to get picked apart and not going to have much of a chance. They're just going to continue getting more and more of this tower. So I flashed in, and oh, the Caitlyn trap. Oh, that's sad. That's humiliating. So flashed in and landed on the trap. Gonna try to go in, but it's a nice Sona ult. Out comes the Gangplank ult as well. Penguin is now chasing us down. There's the root, and let's see, is the Ignite gonna finish off Senna? And yes, they continue to just run right through our team. The BZ does his best, but no chance whatsoever. Enemy team too far ahead. The engage did not work out. The Tarups, I guess that's supposed to be traps. Tarups OP. And yes, indeed they were. Wanted to go for the Alistar Flash initiation, Flash Pulverize, but landed on the trap. And that's going to be it for this game, as our side surrenders in a game that was, after all, 18-3 in kills. Again, the heavy lifting, 8-0 Jungle Evelyn and 7-0 mid lane Karma. Just were not able to catch up, and I mean, these gold disparities are pretty ghastly here. 4,000 gold ahead in each one of those lanes. So, short game. Not much of a game competitively. Not close. However, one of the few chances I've had to go ahead and demonstrate what the new Karma actually looks like. Again, she's quite good at 1v1. She's pretty good at a straight-up duel, and she lanes pretty well. The problem is, in team fights, she has to get very close to the enemy team to use her W, her Focused Resolve. And she tends to get blown up immediately when that happens, is kind of the problem. She tends to get blown up quickly. Only in a situation like this where she's able to dominate the lane and snowball that into a victory is a situation where Karma tends to be very effective. She also has a bit of a high skill cap because she's all skill shot based, almost entirely. Her Q is a skill shot, and that's kind of her big damage source. So needs to get up close. Her main damage is on a skill shot. The reward for learning to play her doesn't seem to be that great. It seems as though other people have just decided that it's better to learn and focus on other champs. So, sorry Karma, it still doesn't seem to be working out for you. We'll see. Maybe Riot will buff her into overpowered status. But for now, still seems to be a bit of a weakish choice. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed a chance to see what some of the reworked Karma gameplay looked like. And thanks to Penguin Preacher for playing such a nice Karma game. Anyway, until next time, take care. See you guys later. Have a great weekend.